What if you could walk into any room and instantly command her attention without saying a word? No more confusion, no more back and forth, no more playing games, just pure attraction that gets inside her head, keeping her focused on you long after you're gone. This isn't some mind trick or gimmick. It's about shifting the way you present yourself and tapping into a deeper understanding of human psychology. In this video, we're going to break down how you can dominate a woman's mind and make her stop playing games once and for all. You'll discover the exact steps that transform the dynamic so she's the one thinking about you, craving your attention, and wondering how she can fit into your world. This is how the men who truly understand attraction operate, and by the end of this, you'll know how to do it too. Stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change the way you approach attraction forever. If you're tired of the games and ready to flip the script, keep watching. You won't want to miss a single second of this. 1. Master your emotions. One of the most powerful tools you have in any interaction is emotional control. But here's the reality. Most men fail at this. They let their emotions dictate their behavior, reacting impulsively when things don't go their way. Maybe she pulls away, cancels plans last minute, or throws in a little jab to see how you respond. Most guys would get frustrated, angry, or defensive, and that's where they lose. The moment you let a woman know she can control your emotions, she's in charge, and that's when the games begin. But what if you were different? What if no matter what she did, you stayed calm, collected, and completely unbothered? That's what separates men who get played from the men who dominate the situation. When you master your emotions, you show her that no matter how hard she tries, she can't shake you. It's not about suppressing how you feel, but about controlling how you express those emotions. This type of control makes you stand out in a sea of men who are easily rattled. Here's how it works. The next time she does something unexpected or challenging, don't react immediately. Pause. Take a moment to breathe and assess the situation. She expects a reaction, but by staying composed, you immediately shift the dynamic. She'll wonder why you're not reacting like other men. This curiosity sparks her interest, and soon enough, she'll realize that her usual tactics won't work on you. You've flipped the script. And it's not just about dealing with conflict. Emotional control also plays a key role in how you show affection. Most men either withhold emotion to seem strong or overshare, hoping it will win her over. But a man in control of his emotions doesn't need to force anything. He shows his feelings when it's appropriate, but never in a way that's needy or desperate. When you're emotionally steady, you send the message that you're confident in yourself and don't need anyone's approval to feel good about who you are. Think about it. Women are constantly dealing with men who get overly excited or upset at the slightest thing. But when you're calm, composed, and in control, you offer something she's not used to. Stability. And stability is something women crave, even if they don't always realize it. It's a kind of quiet strength that will force her to stop playing games because she knows she can't manipulate you. She'll begin to respect you on a deeper level, and that respect will grow into attraction. Remember, emotions are powerful, but they only serve you if you are in control. So whether you're on a date, in the middle of an argument, or navigating a tricky situation, maintain your emotional composure. When she sees that you're not easily swayed by her actions, you become the man she can't figure out, the man she has to work for, and the man who stays in her mind long after you've walked away. 2. Build unshakable confidence. Confidence is often talked about but rarely understood. Most men think confidence is about being loud, showing off, or always having the right thing to say. But real confidence is something much deeper. It's silent, steady, and unshakable. And when you have it, women can sense it instantly. True confidence isn't about trying to impress anyone. It's about knowing who you are and being completely comfortable with yourself. When you walk into a room, you don't need to be the loudest guy there. In fact, the men who are truly confident don't need to make a scene. Their presence speaks for them. Women notice the way you carry yourself, the way you interact with others, and the calm energy you bring to every situation. That's the kind of confidence that dominates her mind. So, How do you build this kind of confidence? It starts with your mindset. You need to stop seeking validation from others, especially from women. Too many men look for approval, thinking that if they say or do the right thing, she'll like them more. But when you're constantly seeking validation, it makes you seem weak and needy, and women can sense that from a mile away. Confidence means you don't care whether she likes you or not, because you're secure in who you are. To develop unshakable confidence, focus on areas of your life where you feel powerful and capable. It could be your career, a skill you're passionate about, or physical fitness. When you invest time into building these aspects of your life, you naturally become more self-assured because you know you have something valuable to offer the world. Confidence comes from competence. When you're good at something, it radiates in every part of your life. But here's the twist. True confidence doesn't mean you always have to be right or perfect. In fact, part of being confident is embracing your flaws and being okay with them. When you can laugh at yourself and admit when you're wrong, it shows a level of maturity and strength that's rare. Most men are too busy trying to cover up their insecurities, but when you can own yours without letting them define you, it sets you apart from the crowd. Think about how this plays out in your interactions with women. A guy who's constantly trying to prove himself comes off as desperate, always looking for approval. But a confident man, he doesn't need to prove anything, he knows his worth, and that energy draws women in. When you're confident, you don't chase her, she chases you. And this is key to dominating her mind. When she's the one thinking about how to impress you, she's already lost the game. Next time you're with a woman, remember, confidence isn't about being flashy or over the top. It's about being comfortable in your own skin, standing tall, and knowing that you bring value to the table without needing her validation. When you walk into a room, let your presence speak for itself. Say less, listen more, and carry yourself with the quiet assurance that you're in control of your world. And most importantly, never let her or anyone else shake your confidence. Whether she's testing you, playing hard to get, or throwing out mixed signals, your confidence should remain unshaken. When you show that nothing she does can throw you off, she'll start to respect you on a different level. That respect, mixed with curiosity, will keep you in her mind long after the games have stopped. By building unshakable confidence, you become the man who stands out, not because you're trying to, but because you're living life on your terms. And that's the kind of confidence she won't be able to forget. 3. Be unpredictable yet reliable. One of the biggest mistakes men make when trying to attract a woman is becoming too predictable. If she can anticipate every move you make, every text you send, or every word you're about to say, the mystery is gone, and so is the excitement. But here's the key: being unpredictable doesn't mean being unreliable. It's about striking the perfect balance between keeping her on her toes while still being someone she can trust. Let's break this down. Unpredictability is what creates a sense of intrigue and curiosity. When you do things that surprise her, whether it's a spontaneous plan or an unexpected response, you make her wonder what you're going to do next, and that curiosity drives attraction. But if you take unpredictability too far, she may see you as someone she can't rely on, and that's when the games start. So how do you walk that fine line? Start by shaking up your routines. If you always text her first thing in the morning, don't. Instead, let her be the one wondering why you haven't reached out yet. Maybe you switch up the conversation by asking an unexpected question or sharing a thought-provoking idea instead of the usual small talk. It doesn't have to be grand gestures. It's the subtle shifts that make the difference. The goal is to keep her guessing, wondering what you're thinking, and anticipating your next move. For example, let's say you're planning a date. Instead of the usual dinner and movie, take her somewhere unexpected. Maybe it's a sunset hike or a cooking class you've both never tried. The key is to create experiences that break the monotony and show her that you're not like the other men who follow predictable patterns. You're someone who can offer excitement and newness, and that's what keeps her interested. But here's the catch. While unpredictability keeps things exciting, reliability is what builds trust. You don't want her to feel like you're playing games or that she can't count on you. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you make plans, follow through. It's the combination of excitement and dependability that makes you irresistible. She needs to know that while you're unpredictable in your actions, you're still a man of your word. Women crave stability, but they also crave excitement. By being both unpredictable and reliable, you become the perfect balance of mystery and security. She never knows what new experience you'll bring into her life, but she knows she can count on you to be there when it matters. And that balance is incredibly attractive because it makes her feel safe while still keeping the relationship dynamic and fresh. Think about it like this. If every interaction with you is predictable, she'll lose interest because there's no challenge. But if you mix in moments of spontaneity with a steady foundation of trust, she'll find herself thinking about you constantly, wondering what you'll do next. That's how you dominate her mind, by being the man who keeps her intrigued while never giving her a reason to doubt your reliability. It's important to remember that being unpredictable doesn't mean playing mind games. You're not trying to confuse or frustrate her. Instead, you're showing her that you're capable of keeping things exciting and new while still being someone she can depend on. When you strike this balance, you'll find that she not only stops playing games, but she also starts respecting you in a way that few men ever experience. So surprise her, keep things fresh, but always remain grounded in reliability. That's how you become the man she can't stop thinking about, the man who offers both excitement and security, creating a powerful dynamic that will make her stop playing games for good. 4. Set boundaries and enforce them. Boundaries are one of the most underrated yet powerful tools in any relationship. They're not just about saying no when necessary. They're about showing that you respect yourself and won't tolerate behavior that disrespects your values. When you set and enforce boundaries, you communicate that you're a man who knows his worth, and that instantly shifts the dynamic in your favor. Let's face it, women test men. Sometimes it's intentional, other times it's subconscious. These tests can come in the form of teasing, canceling plans at the last minute, or pushing to see how much they can get away with. If you allow her to cross your boundaries without consequence, she'll lose respect for you. And once the respect is gone, the games begin. But if you hold firm and enforce your limits, she'll realize that you're not someone to be trifled with. This forces her to take you seriously, and the games stop. Now, setting boundaries doesn't mean being rigid or harsh. It's about calmly and clearly communicating what you will and won't tolerate. For example, if she cancels plans last minute more than once, let her know that it's unacceptable to you. You don't have to get upset or emotional. Just state it firmly. Say something like, "I understand things come up, but if you're going to keep canceling last minute, I'm not interested in wasting my time." This shows her that you value your time and won't allow anyone to disrespect it. But here's the key. You must enforce the boundaries you set. If you tell her you won't tolerate a certain behavior and then let it slide, you've lost all credibility. The moment you back down from a boundary, she'll know she can walk all over you. But when you stick to your word and maintain your standards, she'll see that you're a man of integrity. And that's the kind of man she won't mess with. Enforcing boundaries also applies to how you value yourself in the relationship. Don't bend over backward to accommodate her every whim, especially if it means sacrificing your own needs or priorities. A man who sets boundaries knows when to say no and isn't afraid to do so. If you constantly put her needs ahead of your own, she'll lose respect for you. But when you show that you have your own life, goals, and priorities, she'll realize that she's not the center of your universe. And that's when she'll stop playing games. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is being selective with your time and attention. Don't be too available. When she knows she can have your attention anytime she wants, she won't value it. But if you make it clear that your time is precious and that she has to earn it, she'll start to value your presence more. This isn't about playing hard to get. It's about respecting yourself enough to not give away your time and energy to someone who hasn't proven they deserve it. For example, if she's inconsistent in her communication or doesn't make an effort to spend time with you, don't chase her. Let her come to you. When you set this boundary, It shows that you're not desperate for her attention and that you won't tolerate half-hearted effort. This forces her to step up her game because she knows you're not going to stick around if she keeps playing games. But remember, boundaries work both ways. You also need to respect hers. If she sets a boundary, acknowledge it and show that you respect her limits as well. This mutual respect creates a foundation of trust and understanding, which eliminates the need for games in the first place. By setting and enforcing clear boundaries, you send a powerful message. You are a man of value who won't settle for anything less than respect. And once she understands that you're not going to play along with her games, she'll stop testing you and start seeing you as someone worthy of her full attention. This is how you dominate her mind, by standing firm in who you are and demanding the same level of respect in return. 5. Maintain an exciting life outside of her. One of the most important ways to dominate a woman's mind and stop her from playing games is by having a life that doesn't revolve around her. This might sound obvious, but many men fall into the trap of putting a woman at the center of their world. When you make her your main focus, you unknowingly give her all the power. And once she feels like you're chasing her too hard, the games begin. Here's the truth. Women are irresistibly drawn to men who are fully engaged in their own lives. Men who have passions, goals, and hobbies that they're deeply invested in. When your life is exciting and fulfilling without her, she'll naturally be intrigued by you. Why? Because you're not like the other guys who put her on a pedestal and wait for her validation. Instead, you're focused on things that genuinely make you happy, and that energy is magnetic. And think about it. If you're always available, always texting, always ready to drop everything for her, where's the challenge? There's no mystery. But if you're out there living your best life, pursuing your career, working on your fitness, hanging out with friends, or investing in hobbies that excite you, she's going to notice. And when you're not always available, she'll start to wonder what you're up to. That curiosity will make her think about you more. It's not about ignoring her or playing hard to get. It's about genuinely having a life that's so full that she wants to be a part of it. This shift in dynamic puts you in control, because now she's the one trying to figure out how she can fit into your world, not the other way around. Let's break this down with an example. Say you're into fitness and you spend time at the gym or training for something challenging like a marathon. This is something that not only improves you physically, but also gives you a sense of accomplishment and purpose. Now, instead of spending every moment texting or trying to make plans with her, you're focused on your training. You're disciplined, you're improving, and that kind of dedication is attractive. Or maybe you have a creative passion, whether it's playing music, painting, or working on a personal project. When you're deeply engaged in something that brings you joy, it shows her that you have depth and purpose. She'll see that you're not waiting around for her approval, and that makes you more intriguing. The key is to have a balanced life. Don't put all your energy into the relationship. Keep your friendships strong, keep pursuing your goals, and always be improving yourself. When you're constantly growing and evolving, it creates a sense of excitement around you. Women are naturally drawn to men who are ambitious and focused on becoming better versions of themselves. When she sees that you're not just sitting around waiting for her attention, she'll be more inclined to chase you because she'll realize that you're not someone she can easily control. Also, when you have an exciting life outside of her, you'll naturally become less available. And that scarcity makes your time more valuable. When you do spend time with her, it feels more meaningful because you're not just filling a void, you're sharing a part of your already fulfilling life. This makes her appreciate the time she gets with you and makes her want more of it. On the flip side, if you make her your sole focus, she'll start to feel suffocated. Women don't want a man who's clingy or always available at the snap of a finger. They want a man who is secure enough to have his own life, who can stand on his own, and who isn't constantly seeking validation from them. So here's the takeaway. Make sure your life is fulfilling outside of the relationship. Focus on your passions, set goals, and keep improving yourself. When you're excited about your own life, she'll naturally want to be a part of it. And the best part? She'll stop playing games because she'll see that you're not waiting around for her. You're busy living, growing, and thriving. and that's the kind of man who stays on her mind long after you've walked away. 6. Be a man of action, not just words. There's a saying that actions speak louder than words, and when it comes to dominating a woman's mind, this couldn't be more true. Many men make the mistake of talking too much, whether it's making promises they don't keep, over-explaining themselves, or constantly trying to impress with words. But here's the thing. Women pay far more attention to what you do than to what you say. If your words don't align with your actions, she'll quickly lose respect for you, and that's when the games start. Women test men to see if they are who they claim to be. If you tell her you're going to do something, you need to follow through every single time. This doesn't mean you need to overcommit or promise the world. In fact, it's better to say less and do more. When you're a man of action, your reliability and consistency create a deep sense of trust, and that trust stops her from playing games. Why? Because she knows you're serious and that you won't tolerate dishonesty or mind games in return. Here's an example. Imagine you tell her that you're going to plan a date. Instead of overhyping it with words or promising an extravagant experience, simply make it happen. Show up on time, take her to the spot you've chosen, and let the experience speak for itself. She'll remember how you made her feel through your actions far more than any words you could have said beforehand. Your reliability becomes your strongest asset because it shows her you're a man who means what he says. Now think about the flip side. If you constantly talk about things you're going to do but never follow through, she'll quickly lose interest. It's easy to say the right things, but if your actions don't back them up, it signals to her that you're not dependable. And when she doesn't trust you to be reliable, that's when the games start. She'll test you, push your boundaries, and see how much she can get away with because, in her mind, you've shown her that your words are empty. But when you let your actions do the talking, it creates a whole different dynamic. You become the man she can rely on, the man who doesn't need to brag or boast because his actions speak for themselves. Women are deeply attracted to men who are consistent, dependable, and who live up to their word. It's not about making grand gestures or flashy moves. It's about being steady, reliable, and always doing what you say you're going to do. Another powerful aspect of being a man of action is that it builds a sense of quiet confidence. You don't need to announce your intentions or seek validation because you know your actions will prove your worth. This confidence is magnetic because it shows that you're secure in yourself. You're not trying to impress her with empty promises. You're showing her through your behavior that you're a man of integrity. Women are incredibly perceptive, and they can tell when a man is all talk. But they can also tell when a man is genuine, and nothing speaks louder than consistent, meaningful action. Whether it's something as small as keeping a promise or something bigger like showing up for her when she needs you, your actions build the foundation for her respect and attraction. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or that you should never make mistakes. But it does mean that when you commit to something, you follow through. And when you mess up, you own it and take steps to correct it. This kind of accountability is rare, and it sets you apart from most men who either overpromise or make excuses when they fall short. In the end, being a man of action is about aligning your behavior with your words. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you make a commitment, honor it. Over time, this consistency builds an unshakable trust, and that trust is what makes her stop playing games. She'll realize that you're not someone to be tested because you've already proven yourself through your actions. And once she sees that, you'll dominate her mind because you've become the man she can count on. No games required. 7. Keep the focus on her, not on yourself. A common mistake many men make when trying to win over a woman is making everything about themselves. They talk about their accomplishments, their opinions, their goals, hoping to impress her. But here's the reality. People, women included, are naturally more interested in themselves. When you shift the focus from yourself to her, you create a deeper, more meaningful connection. And that's how you dominate her mind. Think about it. If you're constantly trying to impress her with your words, your accomplishments, or your status, she may listen, but she's not going to feel a strong connection. She might even zone out because it feels like you're trying too hard. But when you flip the dynamic and start asking her about her life, her thoughts and her experiences, you immediately stand out from the crowd. Why? Because most men are too busy talking about themselves. Instead of trying to be interesting, be interested. When you ask her questions about her passions, her goals, or even her day, you're giving her space to express herself. And here's the secret. When you make her feel truly seen and heard, she'll start associating you with those positive emotions. The more she talks, the more she feels connected to you, and that's when she starts thinking about you, even when you're not around. But it's not just about asking basic questions. You need to go deeper. For example, instead of asking generic questions like, "How was your day?" try something more engaging like, "What's the most exciting thing that happened to you this week?" This kind of question sparks conversation and gets her to open up about things that actually matter to her. Another powerful technique is to follow up on things she's previously shared with you. If she mentioned she was working on a big project at work or planning a trip, bring it up later and ask her how it went. This shows her that you're paying attention and that you genuinely care about her life. Women love men who listen, not just to respond, but to understand. Here's a key tip. When she's talking, make sure you're fully present. Don't just wait for your turn to speak. Really listen to what she's saying. Show interest by nodding, asking thoughtful questions, and responding in a way that makes her feel like you're truly engaged. Most men miss this. When they listen, they're thinking about what they're going to say next. But when you're fully present, it creates a deeper connection and makes her feel valued. And while you're keeping the focus on her, be mindful of how much you reveal about yourself. There's nothing wrong with sharing your thoughts and experiences, but do it in moderation. Don't feel the need to overshare or dominate the conversation. The more mysterious you remain, the more curious she'll become. Women are naturally drawn to men who have depth, but don't reveal everything at once. By keeping certain parts of your life private, you create a sense of intrigue that keeps her wondering and thinking about you long after your conversations end. Another way to keep the focus on her is by making her feel appreciated for who she is, not just how she looks. Compliments on her appearance are nice, but they're also common. Every guy does that. Instead, compliment her on something deeper, like her intelligence, her sense of humor, or her unique perspective on life. These kinds of compliments stand out because they show that you're paying attention to the qualities that make her who she is, not just her physical appearance. For example, if she tells you about a challenge she's overcome, acknowledge her strength and resilience. If she shares an interesting thought or idea, compliment her on her creativity or insight. These types of comments create a lasting impact because they make her feel special and understood in a way that most men don't take the time to do. And here's the best part. When you keep the focus on her, you create an emotional connection that goes far beyond physical attraction. She'll start to feel more comfortable around you, more open, and more invested in the relationship. And as that emotional connection grows, the games will fade away because she'll see you as someone she can trust, someone who genuinely cares about her as a person. By focusing on her instead of yourself, you flip the dynamic. She'll start to see you not just as another guy trying to impress her, but as someone who values her for who she truly is. And that's the kind of connection that stays on her mind long after the conversation ends. Leave her wanting more. One of the most powerful techniques to keep a woman thinking about you and stop her from playing games is to master the art of leaving her wanting more. This doesn't mean cutting off conversations abruptly or disappearing without a trace. Instead, it's about creating just the right amount of anticipation and curiosity, so she's always thinking about what's next with you. Women are naturally drawn to mystery. If you give everything away too quickly, whether it's your time, your attention, or your thoughts, there's no intrigue. She already knows everything about you, and there's nothing left for her to wonder about. But when you hold back just a little, when you leave her with questions, that's when she starts to think about you long after your interaction has ended. And when she's thinking about you, the games stop because now you are the one on her mind. Here's how you do it. When you're in a conversation with her, Especially if things are going well, don't feel the need to drag it out. If the energy is good and the conversation is flowing, end it on a high note. This is counterintuitive for many men. They think that if the conversation is going well, they should keep it going as long as possible. But by ending it early, you leave her with a sense of anticipation. She'll be thinking, what more does he have to say? When will I hear from him again? The same goes for physical interactions. If you're on a date and everything's going perfectly, don't linger too long. Leave while there's still excitement in the air. This creates a sense of mystery and makes her look forward to the next time she'll see you. It keeps her curious, and curiosity is a powerful driver of attraction. Think about it this way. If you give her everything up front, there's nothing left for her to discover. But when you hold back just enough, she'll be dying to know more. She'll start replaying your interactions in her mind, wondering what you're thinking and what your next move will be. That's how you stay in her thoughts, even when you're not around. Another powerful way to leave her wanting more is by being selective with how much of your time you give her. Don't be too available. If she knows she can have your attention at any moment, it becomes less valuable. But if you're a little harder to reach, not because you're playing games, but because you genuinely have a busy, fulfilling life, she'll start to value the time you do spend together much more. When you're selective with your time and attention, it shows that you're not someone who's waiting around for her validation. You're a man with priorities, and that makes her want to be a part of your world. For example, if she texts you and you're in the middle of something important, don't drop everything to respond immediately. Take your time and reply when it's convenient for you. This doesn't mean ignoring her, but rather showing that you're not constantly available at the snap of her fingers. When you manage your availability this way, she'll start to appreciate the moments you do share more deeply, because she knows you're not always there whenever she wants. Another technique is to leave a conversation or date with a cliffhanger. If you're talking about something interesting, don't finish the story. Say something like, "I'll tell you the rest next time." This creates a sense of anticipation, and she'll be eager to hear what happens next. It's a subtle but effective way to keep her coming back for more. In addition to this, maintain an air of mystery about your life. You don't need to tell her everything right away. When she asks about your plans, keep things vague. If she asks what you're up to this weekend, you can respond with something like, "I've got a few things lined up. Let's see how it goes." This keeps her guessing and wondering about you, which is exactly where you want her. But remember, leaving her wanting more isn't about manipulation. It's about pacing. You want to reveal yourself gradually, giving her enough to stay interested, but never so much that there's no mystery left. When you can master this balance, you'll find that she's constantly thinking about you, wondering what's next, and waiting for the next interaction. By leaving her wanting more, you create an emotional pull that makes you unforgettable. She'll start thinking about when she'll see you again, what you're doing, and what your next move will be. And when a woman is thinking about you that much, there's no room for games. You've already won the game by making her want more of what you bring to the table. Master this technique, and you'll find that she's the one who starts to chase you, wondering what more she can uncover about the man who always leaves her, wanting just a little bit more. Conclusion: taking control of the game. When it comes to stopping a woman from playing games and dominating her mind, it's all about shifting the power dynamic. By mastering your emotions, building unshakable confidence, adding unpredictability while remaining reliable, setting firm boundaries, and focusing on living an exciting life outside of her, you become the man she can't stop thinking about. Actions, not words, are what make her see you differently. And when you keep the focus on her while leaving her wanting more, the games naturally fade away. This isn't about manipulation or trying to force something that isn't there. It's about becoming the kind of man who commands respect and creates genuine attraction through strength, presence, and purpose. When you live by these principles, the need for games disappears and you become the one in control. Now that you know how to take control of the dynamic, it's time to start applying these strategies. Watch as she stops playing games and starts focusing on you, because you've shown her that you're not like anyone else she's ever met.